Hey guys, welcome back to More Than a Match with me, myself, Dmani, and RH.
Not the RH. Look at this logo in the back here, Dave. Come on.
Upgraded.
We're getting mad guests. We're getting top logos, but absolutely delighted for this next part of More Than a Match. Who we got, Dave?
James Garner.
Oh, look at that smile. What a guest. What a guest we've got here for you. Like I said, we just keep producing. We appreciate the support. First video, done really well. Please like, please subscribe. We really appreciate it massively.
Yeah, so how you feeling, Jim? How's family? How's football?
All good, man. Just the same old, innit? You know, back now, fit, and family are all good, and they were there on Saturday, so yeah.
Amazing. Flowing into that, like what a start under the new manager. Coming off a fantastic performance, obviously the 4-0 against Leicester. We'll talk about the assist. So we talk about the assist.
We're going
to have to talk about the assist. Some vision. Talk us through the little assist.
So it's playing a little bit different now. We're using the midfield quite a lot now. So just thought I just drifted into like the 6 role, and Garner played one round the corner. Then I've opened up and I thought, you know what, I've got like no passes on here. I thought, you know what, I've got it in my locker here, so I've just seen him on the shoulder, and funnily enough, he's been speaking to me over like the last week or two. He's like, keep on passing to me. He said, trust me, like you keep passing to me, I'll score. So that was the first thing that I had in my mind, just to play him through, and he bagged, man, so yeah.
I love it. You know, the new manager, obviously Moyes has come in. What a fantastic manager Sean Dyche is. You know, we're not saying anything bad about him, but has he had a really positive impact on the squad and you as an individual so far?
Yeah, I think his first session was my first session coming back from injury, so that was a benefit and a positive for me. It's just you know, when a new manager comes in, everyone wants to impress and everyone wants to do well and all that stuff. So I think any manager that was going to come in, you know, they was going to bring a positive vibe and all that stuff, and it just so happens that we're winning games as well. So of course it's going to be positive.
What's the like training like compared to Dyche? Is it changed a lot or is it the same?
No, the training's definitely changed purely on the fact that, you know, the different managers and they play different styles of football, don't they? So obviously Dyche was a lot more forward thinking, more long ball and whatnot, whereas, you know, the new manager Moyes is more, you know, he doesn't mind us playing long balls, as you see in on the weekend. You know, we scored one. Tarky played a long ball in behind, but you know, he's more focused on possession and all that stuff. So training's a lot more possession based now, which is good, and I feel like it suits me.
No, that's fantastic. In terms of like the, you know, new manager, is that just for the viewers and the parents and the players that are watching and just general football fans, is that a real thing, that bounce back, the new manager comes in, what's the dressing room like? Do you have a chat between the lads? Is it like, right, clean slate for everybody now, or is it more of normal service resumes?
And is he a bit of nerves in there as well? Obviously, a new manager coming in.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely is a real thing. You know, because like I've already said, like everyone wants to impress. Like it's a clean slate for everyone. So if you wasn't in the team for the last manager, you could be in the starting lineup for the new manager. So it's a new chance. It's a fresh start. So as you can imagine, training in that first week was so intense, and everyone was, you know, putting the best efforts forward. So now I think it's definitely a thing, because like I've already said, like you want to impress and you want to be in that start. You want to be in that starting 11. So it's 100% a thing. And even when Dyche come in last time, we had Arsenal our first game when Arsenal were flying, and we ended up beating them 1-0. So it's definitely a thing.
Yeah. I think for me, obviously doing what I'm doing, obviously coaching and stuff like that, what's the best advice as a coach ever given you, or a manager, you know, throughout your career? Obviously people would love to hear obviously the insight about what makes Jimmy tick. What's the approach? Is it an arm round you? Is it more of, right, Jimmy, you need to do this? Is it a bollocking? What sort of approach works for you?
Advice wise, I can't actually think of one thing that, like, I can't quite remember anything that someone said to me that stuck with me. However, what works for me is, I feel like a bit of an arm around me. Like, I kind of go the opposite way when I'm being, you know, like I kind of go the opposite way when someone's shouting and bollocking me. Like, it's like I'm just a normal human being. You don't have to shout, you don't have to scream. Of course, when it's needed and stuff like that, I get it. But in terms of that aggressive nature towards like players where you need to shout and scream, that doesn't work for me. Like I said, I go the opposite way and just yeah. So for me, it's more of an all-round realm. It speaks to me like a normal person, and I can kind of get exactly what you're trying to get across to me.
What are you like in that situation? If obviously, are you more of an arm round, or do you like a bit of the tough approach? What you like?
I'm more
with
like Jimmy.
Yeah,
I like an arm round because sometimes it's like, fuck it. Like,
yeah.
if someone's like telling you like, come on, and
Yeah.
instead of being like, you have to have a positive. I'm all about positivity, me. So if
Yeah,
someone's
I
saying
love
like,
that.
oh, come on, keep going, like you're doing great, then it's more like, right,
I think
let's go.
Jimmy hit the nail on the head, didn't he? By saying there's a balance, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like if you need a
Yeah.
bollocking, then it's important that it's not. Oh, you need to do.
Yeah.
It's a full on
Yeah,
and
yeah.
rock it up your backside. But obviously, to get the best out of you guys as players, I think certainly that's what's needed. In terms of like the Premier League, obviously you played in the Premier League, for so long. In terms of style of play, obviously everyone sees the Man City's play in a certain style. Me and Dmani were speaking. A lot of teams are trying to play the same styles now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you notice that by
Yeah.
when you're setting up? Do you identify that, or what's the approach?
I think obviously since Pep's been at City, I think everyone's tried to kind of pick little things out of his setup, where they're obviously trying to create an overload in midfield. Whether that'll be a fullback, whether that'll be a winger coming inside, as always seems to be 4 or 5 in the midfield now, where teams are trying to overload. I see like Villa and that now.
Mm-hmm.
Villa have got the extra man in midfield where they create a box with the wingers coming inside and all that type of stuff. So I feel like teams are, like I said, I think the main thing is just trying to create an overload in the midfield, whether it is a fullback, which City do, or whether it's an extra guy in the pockets, which will be like a winger or something. I think that's the main style of play.
Everyone has to be technical now as well, like ball playing, like you see it from the back, everyone wants to play out, come back out, wingers, come back out, build up again.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's just a bit like, just go, sometimes you're watching that, just get him.
The raw element's gone now, isn't it? It's more
But
like
obviously-
recycle possession and build up, and
sometimes can be look like watching it slow, but obviously playing it's a lot faster than you think.
They're the players that excite everyone as well, innit? Or the ones that
Yeah.
just get it and
just direct, and because you don't really see that anymore. There's no like free flowing wingers. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's more structured and like keep the ball, retain, and basically walk it into the goal, innit?
Yeah. On that note, the Villa stuff. Obviously, you grew up with Marcus. Like, what's your opinion on that? With Marcus, with Villa and stuff like that. I know it's going off topic a little bit, but like you've just said there, like raw, getting at people. That's Marcus, isn't it? When he's played, he's not a tippy-tappy player, is he? He's raw. So what do you reckon he really flourish at Villa?
I think so personally, because I feel like Villa are such a good team where they do have a lot of the ball and they do
attack
end up
fast,
creating chances where players can go 1v1. He's definitely a 1v1 player, and I feel like fresh start for him. And
I really hope he does good, me.
100%.
I just
yeah, so do I. He's like we know him, don't we? So like he deserves like a clean slate.
Everyone has.
Everyone knows when he's on it,
definitely.
he's
unstoppable, really, isn't it?
one of the best players in the world. So
yeah, 100%. All the very best to him. He's
Yeah.
got to go there. He's got to be happy. He's got to play.
That's the main thing, knowing it, being happy and
100%.
enjoying yourself, because you're the best when you enjoy yourself and you're happy.
For sure.
Definitely. Stripping it all back then to the very start. Obviously, you played with D in the academy. How did it all start in terms of going to the academy, and what's the best thing that you learnt from the academy? Obviously, meeting D was probably one of the best things in your life.
We've got a different
without being cringy, like that is like one of the best things, because I've knew D since I was 6 or 7, and
That's
like,
brilliant.
we're still best mates now.
Yeah.
Like we do everything together. So little things.
Lads, Jimmy's brought some squashes in for us. Lads, do you want me to? Yeah.
Go on. Cheers,
Jim,
go on.
yeah.
Cheers, Jim.
I'll exit the pod if you want. I can get some candles instead of squashes. No, it's brilliant.
No,
I'll have one.
little things like that where you meet people like that and you end up
Friends for life. Brothers.
It is like a family, innit?
Yeah.
And obviously, aside from that, in terms of football, we were lucky enough to come through arguably one of the best academies in the world, so with some of the best coaches and staff in the world, so we learned a lot of things, and even just the experiences that we got to experience, like all the different countries you get to go to, and just like you're
tournaments,
7 and 8, 9 years of age, and you're in Germany, you're in Italy, you're in Czech Republic, all these countries that would never I thought of going to, I've been to, because of
United.
What's the biggest lesson you think the academy taught you?
Biggest lesson?
Doesn't have to be negative, could be positive. Like, what would you, again, feeding back to the viewers, what advice would give a young academy player coming through, to prepare and how to go through that sort of situation?
I think, obviously, nothing's a given, so I feel like just every day, just try and enjoy it as much as you can, because hopefully when you end up making it, whether it's Premier League, whether it's League One, whether it's wherever you do end up making it, you'll look back in your academy days, which were arguably my best days as a footballer, and you look back in them days and you think, you know what, I wish I enjoyed it a little bit more, and because they were the best days, weren't they? Like,
they go fast as well. Like, you don't realise, do you?
And now it's just stress and pressure, and you have to win, and 40, 50,000 fans watching you, and you're like nervous. Whereas in the academy, it's just you, your boys, your mum and dad watching you, and all that stuff, and like you're just happy. Like,
great time.
On that topic there, how do you deal with that? So like after a game, say maybe if you feel like you've had a poor game and you see the social media side, how do you deal with that yourself? Me
personally, I was bad when I first started getting into the first team, especially on loan and stuff. I used to read it a lot. I won't lie. You used to read it a lot, and it's all just a perspective, isn't it? Like, you could think I had the best game in the world, whereas you could think I had a stinker.
Opinions.
So there's literally no point in reading all the comments. I know it's obviously easier said than done.
Yeah, of course.
Like, everyone does it. And say
everyone does it. We discussed it.
Yeah, we said that, didn't we?
Yeah.
But like, honestly, it's just like the world is just full of perspectives. Like, I view something completely different to how you view it. So like, it doesn't really matter. Like, the only opinions that really matter are your family and obviously your coach and your teammates. No,
definitely. I think, again, football is a game of opinion, isn't it? And that goes through from the very top, from fans to players, to football clubs. Like, that's what it is. Some people might love you, some people might dislike you. As a player, as a person, it's just free flowing.
Sometimes it's also your face just doesn't fit. You know what I mean? Like, you can do everything you're trying so hard, but sometimes you're just wrong place, wrong time.
It's not necessarily like you're not the best player there or better than certain people that are playing. Clearly, the manager's playing this person because of this. And if your face fits, it's it's not it's who sometimes.
Sometimes it is.
It is in football. But in terms of personal development, obviously, again going back to the coaching sort of stuff, do you do your own little bits? I know you've obviously coming back from injury and you do your rehab stuff, but are you always trying to tick over, trying to improve your game, working on like little details to try and take you to that next level?
Yeah, I think as I've obviously now I would say.
Sorry, he's just trying to get some of the squashes. I'm policing the squashes in the middle. He's trying to nick some.
As I feel like I'm a bit more of an established first team player now. I feel like most people would say that kind of it doesn't go out the window, but it's less as important now. It's more like taking care of your body and making sure that you're good to go on the weekend. Whereas when you're a bit younger, you do them extra bits. I do extras every single day. I'm not saying I don't, but when you're a bit younger, you make sure that I need to get better at my left foot, or need to take more set pieces and make sure I'm good at that and all that. Yeah. Like I said, there's every day after session, there's people taking extra shooting, extra set pieces, defenders doing clearances, all that type of stuff. So the learning never stops really.
No, that's brilliant. I think, again, from my perspective, and Dee's very much in the same opinion, personal development for players, you always got to keep progressing. There's always someone coming behind you. Yeah. You're always chasing someone.
Loads of competition now.
Competition for
and
places.
The younger players now are getting better and better.
Yeah.
So it's when you see one of them younger kids, you're like, bloody hell, he's good.
Yeah.
Definitely. He's in my position.
Exactly. I think that's what it is though. You've got to have that mentality, ain't you? I'm staying here.
But competition's good though. Do you know what I mean? It can either make you thrive, or you feel like some players like it, and some players think, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, that's what my dad used to say all the time. He used to make like if I was having a bit of an off week or a bad game on the weekend or something, he'd be like, you need to make sure you're booking up your ideas, because there's thousands and thousands of people who want to be in your spot. So just make sure.
I like that. It's great advice. That. Yeah. If we talk about obviously the United stuff now, obviously making your first team debut, obviously what a moment that was. What was your feeling, and how did it come around? We asked Brandon the same, didn't we?
Yeah.
How did it all come around?
It was a surreal feeling, obviously being at the club for so long, and I feel like it was like I feel like I maybe should have made my debut a little bit earlier, just purely off the basis of the fact that I was on the bench for so long.
Yeah, we used to speak about it all the time.
Yeah, like I was in the squad every game for months and months and months, and training with the first team since I was like 16 and all that stuff. I made my debut when I was 17, so I was in the squad for like a year. Just never seemed to get a chance. Never seemed to obviously get on the pitch, but you know that was a tough period for United at the time, which obviously I don't think they could just hand out hand out
debuts.
Stuff, hand out debuts. But no, I was grateful, and I was made up on the day. I can't remember the day exactly, but I remember it was before it was before my 18th birthday. I think it was February, I want to say, and it was mad. I was that excited. Palace benches are like probably like this big off the ground, so obviously I'm just sat there now thinking I'm not going to get on here again. And he's like, "Oh, Jimmy, you're on." And so I got up and just smashed the top of my head. And obviously everyone's laughing, and then obviously I've got my shirt on, and then obviously the picture of me, Carrington, Solskjaer on the front.
What's that feeling like? Do you know when you're stepping up, like, and he's putting the board up? When I made my Europa League debut, I was like, I just like took a big deep breath. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
It's like the sounds. I feel like you don't have any feelings. It's like it's kind of like the world just goes like everything around you goes numb, and you just.
It was quiet for me. It just everything went quiet, and I thought, whoa.
I think probably the thing I was probably thinking about is just like I know the cameras around me now.
I bet anyone just doing that. Every game. If you watch Jim every match, at least 20 times a game, you see him just touch
I've got fringe, that's why. Like if I had
tell you what, if I had a trim like it, I love it. Talk about again, I've always played in league, never not played in the Premier League or Europa League, but talk about in the moment. Atmospheres are like, you know, from the kick-off, for me, my opinion, you experience it. As soon as that whistle goes it's like tunnel vision. It's weird. Everyone used to say to me, like, how do you hear things? Now, the biggest I played in front of me is like 8,000. How do you hear, like, your teammates? You play played at Old Trafford in the Premier League stadiums. Talk to the guys or the ladies that are watching. Like, what's that like? What's that feeling like? It's just zonal.
Yeah. I think for me, in terms of that, it's like nothing matters at that time. Like I think that's why football is just so wonderful. Like you got all your issues at home or whatever it may be. As soon as you step on the pitch, everything just goes. Like
it's brilliant. That
obviously, like you hear when you score a goal and all that stuff, and you hear the fans and all that stuff. Like it's almost like it gets unmuted again, and then you're back to playing, it mutes again. Like
it's weird. You can't explain it
until you experience it.
Yeah.
It's like people, like, you look on the pitch and you think, how can these actually hear everyone? But when you're on the pitch, you can hear them loud and clear. It's the worst, like, say, like, the manager's shouting. You just pretend you can't hear him. Just like, you go over here, you're like, just keep looking.
What was that?
I can't hear you. You can hear him,
yeah, no, it is. That's always, for people, again, that are not played or they don't quite understand that. But then it just, like, switches off, doesn't it? It's like a bit of a thing. So, obviously, the United stuff, when you was at United, who would you say the best player that you train with? Obviously, we'll ask you in general. The best player that you play with or against in your overall career. But if we just focus on United, who was best to player? Say? Put him on the spot here, Anna. Do you want to squash it?
No.
Best player in terms of obviously, I was lucky enough to train with Ronaldo before I left United. I was lucky enough to train with him, but in terms of just like what I'd see them do every single day in training, probably someone like Pogba.
Everyone says the same thing, doesn't it?
And he was such a nice guy. Like for me, 16, 17 years of age, he just treated me like
a little brother.
I was one of them. Like even like those times where obviously we're both living in Manchester and all that stuff, so I'd see him in like Trafford Centre or something like that. He wouldn't just ignore me. He'd be like, "Oh, like yes, amazing. Bro, and like this is at that time the biggest superstar in the world."
But he's just normal.
And he's normal, and like just he's a joke.
He's just like a big ball of energy, innit?
Yeah, like
you look at him, he's just like dancing, or he's just making everyone happy. That's what.
He like I said, he was a joke. Like he shouldn't been able to move how he could move. 6'3", 6'4", like left foot, right foot.
Technically,
one of the best, if not the best. And like could run with the ball, could defend, could take set pieces, he's a joke.
On that topic, he's making a return, isn't he?
Yeah, making a return.
Under a goal.
Is he? Yeah.
Under a goal.
Under a goal.
A few clubs.
I seen him linked to
rumoured,
Marseille, didn't they?
Yeah, Marseille. Well, there was a talk about him going back to United for the third time, wasn't it?
Surely not. Surely not.
Probably pay 120 mil for it.
Yeah, you never even though you can get him on a free, they'll probably still pay. Sorry, we don't want to get in trouble with Man United. In terms of Pogba, what I will say on that is, he gets a bit of a reputation. It's the same with Jesse as well. As these just messes around, bit of a show boy or whatever. It's good to hear that, innit?
Yeah.
Obviously I know you experienced it as well, but for me and for the rest of people, it's good to see for the young lads being that sort of role model and not taking you under your wing, but showing you respect. I think that's massive, innit?
Well, I think all the people that do have that perception of him don't know him.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to, really.
That's what I'm saying in terms of the comments about when you have a bad game and all that stuff. They don't know you. And like I said, all them people that say all the negative things about him, like I said, they don't know him. Whereas the lads that train with him every day and his family friends and all that stuff, they know what a guy he really is. Like I said, me being 16, 17, I thought I'm going into the first team here. He's probably going to be the one, one of the ones that probably won't speak to me because he's this superstar. But he was one of the first ones to. Yeah, but he could. Feel part of the
thing about him, he could
Same
be
like that. As well.
Yeah, he could be I'm one of the best. I'm this, I'm that. But they're just normal people.
Same with Jesse as well. Like you said, people have got that perception of him, but them two were
honestly, he's one of the nicest footballers you ever meet.
One of the first two people to make me feel like I'm part of the team, like I'm one of them. So. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
I think again, if you don't know him, that's the perception, innit?
Like you said, it's all perception football, innit?
Yeah, 100%.
Life, I think life in general is just
perception,
a whole perception.
Yeah, no,
especially football and opinions.
Obviously, you've you made your debut, and then you went out on loan, didn't you?
Yeah.
To Watford, and then you went to Nottingham.
Yeah.
How did you find that leaving? Obviously, you've been at United.
Yeah. I was kind of ready to go on loan. I couldn't wait to go on loan. I had that good season for the 21s where I made a promise to myself where I'm gonna have a good season this season. I'm gonna score loads of goals. I'm gonna be more attacking because everyone was saying I'm just a number 6. That's all I can do. So obviously I thought, you know what, with the 21s, the season I had, I was just banging goals. That first game of the season.
Oh, okay, he's a new player, this guy.
I love it.
I scored 2 in the first game of the season. And I was just thinking, I'm gonna have a good season there. And then obviously, I had a good season at 21s. I thought, I think I was 18. I said, I need to go on loan now. Went to Watford.
On that though, you could easily be complacent and just think, do you know what? I'll stay here because sometimes you see a lot of players. You think, why are you not going out? Or
it's like a graveyard.
Yeah,
isn't
it? So you have to big up yourself for that.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, that's what I mean. I was on the bench for United and. Premier League, Europa League, Champions League at one point. And like I said, I could have easily just sat on the bench and been I'm one of the main guys in the academy. I thought I need to go out, I need to prove myself. Went to Watford. People thought I had a bad loan at Watford, but they might say I did. I really don't know. But
any Watford fans, let us know. Let us know what you think of Jimmy.
Obviously, I left in the January, but. Up until the January, I played every single game. Majority of the games, and then obviously the new manager come in, and he changed the whole team up. And then I didn't play his first 6 games, and obviously me being on loan, I thought if I'm not gonna play, then I've not got no time to fight for my position because I'm only on loan. So if I'm not a part of his plans in the first 5-6 games, I'm probably not going to be a part. So I thought, you know what, and at this point we were 2nd, 3rd in the league. So I thought, again, I could have just stayed on the bench, got promoted and all that stuff. But I thought, you know what, I want to play. I want to play. So I think I had 2 teams. I think it was Forest and I want to say Coventry. I think it was. Quote me on that. I think it was Coventry and Forest. But I thought I want to go to Forest, and at this time Forest were 21st in the league or something. So I've gone from the bottom of the from the top of the champ to the bottom of the champ. But I just wanted to play.
Yeah, it's good.
And then it just shows as well. You don't have to be at one of the best teams in the league to show what you can do. Yeah. People then, obviously at the end of the season, people are oh my God, you see how good he was at Forest. Yeah. They didn't say nothing when I was at Watford, because I went to a team where
what
was a little bit more like me and can play how like it's like suits my style of play and all that stuff. Like that's exactly why.
Obviously, you need a manager as well from the Euros.
That was the season after that.
Yeah.
So
was it?
Yeah. Then the season after, and same again, because I forced myself. Like I could easily just go to one of the main teams again in the Championship and get promoted.
Yeah.
But I thought, I know it's not about that. It's about
developing.
going there and developing as a player. Yeah. So I thought I'll go back to Forest. At this point, they hadn't won a game in 7. So the first 7 games didn't win 1. So I thought, you know what, I'm going back to Forest because like, I loved it there. I loved the place, I loved the players, and we actually had a good team. I'm not just saying that. Like, we actually had a good team. Like I just don't know what it was. We just didn't win. Then I joined, went back, and then we ended up swapping managers to Steve Cooper, and then we went on like a 18-game streak where we didn't lose, and then.
It's a Jimmy effect, isn't it?
I know, it must have been you, Jim, 1 in 7, and Jim comes at 18 street.
I remember.
It wasn't me.
I remember a good friend of mine, Joe Rothwell, I know you know him. He was at Blackburn at the time, and I went to watch, and they played Forest, and you scored the winner. You scored the winner. But overall, you just look like at home there. Free, like you just getting on the ball. Obviously he's a midfielder as well, so you and him was having a bit, and like, but you could see like even from the fans' perspective, like how much they valued you and liked you, and like that's. I think it helps you
a lot more though when you feel like you're valued, because you want to, obviously you want to play good every game, but it adds that extra like little bit of weight on your shoulders. Like right, the fans love me, like the gaffer loves me, like
definitely.
I've got all I can do now is just prosper because everything around me is just positive.
But that breeds confidence, doesn't it? Then like you probably felt at that time that you could do anything. Like you could try, like you're saying at the start about that pass. Like the managers encourage you to keep playing them passes, or the striker. Whereas at that time it was probably no one needed to tell you. You're probably playing with freedom, where just do what you want. If you don't come off, who's having a go at you? You're doing that well. But I remember that it was.
I always say like the best skill to have is confidence. Like pace, technique, all that stuff can go out the window when you're not playing with confidence. When you're playing with confidence, like for me, you can be the best player on the pitch, whether your technical ability isn't as quite as strong as some others, or all that type of stuff. I think confidence is the best skill set, in my opinion.
Obviously, Go on, sorry.
Because for me, when I'm playing with confidence, I feel like what you said. Like when you're playing with confidence, you feel like you can do anything.
What about when you've not got confidence? How do you deal with that? Isn't it? Like, how do you deal with it though?
Great
for me personally, I don't think I've quite worked or figured that out personally. Like I'm still so early on in my career that like I just don't think I've worked that out yet. Which was like I don't know when I'll work it out, but I think when you're not playing with confidence, I don't know what. Like I don't know what it is that can spark your confidence back. I don't know whether it's in training. I don't know whether it's life at home. I don't know whether it's doing something different on the pitch. I really don't know. I've not quite worked that out yet.
I used to just think like. Just try and do the simple things good. Do you know what I mean? So like even if it's in a game, like right, first touch, pass it, boom. Then simple, that's how you can just grow into the game. Do you know what I mean? And then from there, like you think right, that's all right. Because you have to trick your mind. When you're low on confidence, you just feel like you're in a little shell, aren't you? You think I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
You start doing things that you don't usually do.
Yeah, correct.
And it makes you play even rubbish. You're like,
I think for midfielders, like you just said there, you just want to get an early touch on the ball, get playing, get your passes, create angles. Keep it ticking, but for likes of you, the first one that wraps into you, you're about to go, you need to hold it.
Yeah, but that might not be the first one. The first one could be a shot and goal. And then if you miss that, you're like...
alert. It sets the tone.
Yeah, now it's like... It's like... I was watching the Arsenal game. Like Kai Havertz, he looked like low on confidence. Like he could have shot in the first one, but then he passed to Odegaard. And it's like, just shoot.
There's so many... obviously, we'll go back to United, even remember Højlund as well. Like, and Xerxes and players like that. Like, confidence breeds everything, doesn't it? It's just so important. Speaking of confidence, we'll go to the England stuff. The under-21s, obviously you won the Euros there. You know, didn't concede a goal. Obviously, shout out to your mate Trafford there, saving the pens. But what was that like? You know, going through the tournament, did you start off as favourites? Did you feel like you grew into the tournament? What was that like for you?
I feel like we probably was favourites. I feel like England are always favourites in them type of tournaments. England, France, Spain, you know, them like the usuals.
No, but if you look on paper at your team, it's like, whoa.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Our team was a joke, but like I said, football's not easy, is it? Like on paper, you can have the best team, but you just like it might not just be your day. So in a tournament format where you've got to win,
anyone can win as well.
Round, it's tough. So. But we definitely knew there was a lot of talk going on because obviously England 21s, they arguably always have the best team going into tournaments, and we just for some reason don't end up doing well. So we just thought, like, we all, like, literally, like, there were so many conversations where we'd all sit there, like, because obviously you have like a pre-camp and all that stuff, where we'd sit there and be like, look lads, like we should breeze this, like, look at our team, like we have the best players in all positions, the bench was a joke as well, really good way of playing, and we just thought to ourselves, like, if we don't win this tournament, then we're going to regret it, like, so much. Like, it can't just be one of them where it's like, oh, like, we just didn't win. Like, we thought, like, we have to win this, we've all got to stick together, and if we do that, we should breeze it.
What was it like?
We didn't.
The last game?
Oh, yeah, the last game, obviously I played right back as well throughout the tournament, didn't I? A little bit of an inverted role, which was new for me. I played right back the last game of the season for Everton. Ended up having
man of the match.
Like a man of the match performance.
You know, you did it.
Yeah.
Yo, you started at centre back, didn't you?
Yeah. So started centre back, and then same again. I went into midfield one tournament, and then just had a bit of a blind of a tournament, and then with the right back, I literally went into the first day of like the pre camp with England, and Cars was like, that performance on the weekend.
You're gonna have to play right back in the tournament.
Was that the little seed that he planted?
Yeah. Like it kind of was. Like, it was kind of like the first day. It was like let's give us something to think about. You know.
How did you feel about that though?
You know, I'm like, as long as I'm playing, I'm happy. So I thought, you know what, and the way he wanted to play as well, even before he played me right back, he always wanted, like I was speaking about before, the extra man in midfield. So whether that was winger or fullback, so I thought it'll
matches your
overload in possession.
I'm just going to be a lot more defensive and all that stuff, but on the ball, I can just go.
You basically
just go and get it. So obviously, played right back, and then obviously that final was.
Crazy that.
Obviously, when the penalty was given, because I'm not sure whether you've seen it, it's like it's a foul, but then play carries on for like a minute, and then the ref comes back to it. You're thinking like what's going on here? And it's like the 90th plus minute or something. Thinking like, this is just my luck. It's like, this is my luck. Like, and then obviously he saves it and then makes a double save. Oh, that's a joke.
Mad memories them.
And that final whistle, mate.
And then the final whistle goal. But even just throughout the whole tournament, like, Traff was just a joke. Like,
he done it the other week, didn't he?
He's been flying.
He done it the other week. He saved 2 penalties, didn't he?
A joke.
Yeah, he did. Same guy as well.
Yeah.
It was just like, I thought like...
Sunderland that was against.
Yeah. Thought like, this is just my luck, this. But then I thought, you know what, he's been on fire this hot, like
everyone believed him anyway. Do you know what I mean? Everyone was like, he's going to save this. I think someone said
Cole,
it. Cole said it, didn't he? He's like, he's going to save this. And then he saved it.
Yeah, it's a joke.
You know what, at the end, I'm just thinking as a perspective, like, what are the lads saying to him when it all dies down? Like, you get on the coach and you after, like, the after party or whatever. What are you saying to him? I bet it's just mad, innit?
Imagine though, but that for him's like scoring a goal to us.
It's crazy though.
You're like, you just look at him like, what?
Do you walk up to him and go, nice one, Trav? Like,
you know what? So obviously after, we all went back to the hotel with like family and all that stuff, and obviously we all had a drink and like a celebration and that. Like, he had a good.
He had a good goal. He
deserves it. That's
I'm not going to say too much, but
he deserves it.
He was one of the messiest.
I love it.
Everyone else. But like I said, he deserved it. He didn't concede a goal.
That's crazy. That is mental.
Yeah,
that is mad. Then obviously moving on to the Everton stuff. Obviously signing for Everton from obviously United. You know, how did that come around? Was there anyone else interested at that time? Why Everton? You know, I'm sure there'll be a lot of Everton fans watching.
Obviously, I grew up in the world, didn't I? So you're either red or you're blue. And my whole family are red, so like that's how that comes about. And in terms of playing against Liverpool, when I was at Forest, I played them in the FA Cup, and that was a bit of a mad feeling.
It was away as well, wasn't it?
No, it was at home.
Was it at home?
But the maddest feeling for me when I played against Liverpool, because obviously as a kid, I didn't go to loads of games, but I went to a few when I could. And obviously, when I was younger, this is completely honest as well, but if you choose to believe me or not, I actually don't support anyone right now.
Okay.
Purely the fact, I play in the Premier League, I play against all these teams, so how can I support a team and play against them, if you get what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I can't support Liverpool and then play against them on the weekend.
And you play for the rivals.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm at Everton now. If I was at West Ham, I still wouldn't support them.
You just like football in general.
Yeah, like I'm just a football fan in general.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
you had a team.
I was a Liverpool fan.
Because your dad.
Yeah. But now I'm just a football fan in general.
Yeah.
But what was mad was last season, obviously the first time I played at Anfield, like that was a mad feeling for me. I won't lie, I feel like I was caught up in the moment a little bit, purely for the fact that before the game, obviously family are all messaging me. All my friends from back home are like, oh my god, like playing in Derby, like we'll be watching you, like, and it was on telly as well.
How did that make you feel? Did you feel like everyone? But everyone's messaging you and your friends and you're playing in like the team that you support when you're younger. Does that make you feel like?
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like I was caught up in the moment, like, and then obviously you walk out. And then
the atmosphere,
the atmosphere, mental. And then you'll never walk alone. And you're like, this is mad. This is it. This is what I used to come and watch. And now I'm like,
playing
playing
on the pitch,
watching me on the like.
It's crazy.
It was mad. But yeah, like that's probably the only time where I've actually been caught up in the moment.
When you say caught up in the moment, do you mean with your performance as well?
Yeah,
it might sound a bit of a mad one, that, because like. You might mean at the start a bit overwhelming, but even when the game, did you click out of it, or would you still a little bit like, oh my god, like this is a bit surreal?
I feel like I think even like the first 15, 20 minutes, I feel like I was still a little bit like in a bit of a shell shock. But then obviously Ashley Young got sent off in like the 30th minute, so I thought, I need to snap out.
Switch on here. It's going to be a long day if I don't switch on here. Play with 9 men. Jim's like that. Okay, I'm feeling it.
looking at the cop, his mum and dad. Mum,
dad.
I love it.
Playing with 9 men. Like literally, when he got sent off, I was like, I need to snap out of this now. Like, but like it happens. Like I get nervous with every game. Like
I think it's good to have nerves though, because if you didn't, it's like
like you don't care, do you? Yeah. But like there's some games where you're nervous, and then for me, as soon as I get my first touch, I'm fine. But there's some games where you just have, like for me, I have more fear of losing than I have excitement to win.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So of course, like I'd rather not lose than win, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like I'm scared of losing.
Yeah. Because but you.
So, a question: say if you go 1-0 down, right, and you're saying you have that, does that then does that inspire you even more in terms of like come on, like do you even, it sounds weird, do you even like talk to yourself going like snap out of this or do this, do that to vitalise and motivate yourself?
Yeah, because like I said, like even in training, like you know what I'm like, like when I train and that, like I train proper every single day. I know it's easy to say that, but like I honestly do. You ask anybody who's training with me, I train proper every single day. I hate losing. You ask coaches and all that stuff that have managed me, they say like he's a moody so and so.
I love that.
Like,
if you lose,
moans and he's moody and but it's not a lie. It's just because I care. Like I care about losing. Whether it's training, whether it's a bloody...
You just hate losing?
Yeah, like I've got pride, like whether it's training, whether it's a proper game.
Yeah, but that's in anything though, like say if we went to
even Poole, cards, like
we went to Poole, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he was like, I was beating him, I could see him like getting mad, but I love it, me.
You wired him up?
Yeah,
class,
but who won the Poole though?
No comment.
Did he come back? Yeah.
Of course I did.
I thought he was going to say he launched the queue.
I'm chalking the queue. What's going on here?
Even in darts. Hey, ask me about darts. Yeah. You get smoked every time I play him.
You don't mention all this.
Yeah. It's not about me anyway. It's about
you. I love it. So, Everton.
Yeah.
We've gone off. So he's killed you there.
Sorry.
The Everton stuff, signing for Everton.
Yeah.
How did it come around? Was anyone else in for you? I'm sure there was.
Yeah.
And what made you pick Everton?
Yeah. So obviously I went back to Everton, didn't I, in the pre-season after having such a good season with Forest, got promoted and had a good season personally. So I thought, you know what, like I'm staying here. Like I feel like I got a chance now. I've kind of proven myself out on loan. Like they can kind of see like I'm serious now. Like I'm serious to like try and take up a spot or. Yeah. But then obviously the new manager come in, Ten Hag, and I got injured on the first day of pre-season, which killed me. Like the testing, like you know all the testing you do, all the squeezing and all that stuff. So obviously I've come back and I want to like show everyone that I have developed, like not just as a player, but like physically, in the gym and all that stuff. So I'm doing everything maxed out and all that stuff. And there was like a quad one, and I've like gone max out on the quad, and like I've come off it, I'm like,
Not a good
sign. All right, yeah. And then obviously you go out and literally my quad, I just had a dead quad, but like I tore it basically.
Yeah.
But that's what it felt like, just a dead quad. I was running, and every time I planted on my right side, it just felt like my right leg was like dead. 20 kg heavier than the left leg. It was weird. So I got a scan, and I was out for like 3 weeks. So obviously I missed the first 3 weeks of the new manager.
Yeah.
Like, is that the first time he's seen you as well?
Yeah.
So that's his very first session of the
first session.
Wow,
and I was injured on the first day. So obviously, like I said, I come off the back of a good pre-season, and he's coming in to implement his new style and just the way of playing. I got injured on the first day. I'm not saying if I was fit on the first day, I might have stayed. I really don't know.
Yeah. I was going to ask
could
that.
Have.
Yeah.
Because I might have hit the ground running on the first day, and he might have thought, you know what, like we're keeping him. Like he's good.
And your style as well, the way you play, like ball player.
I might have suited him, but we'll never know. So I was injured on the first day, and then obviously 3 weeks, and we went away to like Thailand and all this stuff, and then come back, played 1 or 2 games, didn't play as well as I probably would like to, but just come back off an injury and nervous, wanting to impress, all that type of stuff. And then it was kind of a conversation that I had with him. I went and seen him and said, like, obviously I kind of want like some type of answer where you think I'm going to play a part of this season. Whether I'm not saying to tell me whether I'm going to start. I'm just saying, like, do you think I'm going to play a part? And he said, yeah, like I do think you're going to play a part and all that stuff, but like I can't promise nothing type of thing. So I thought, you know what, like I think I've got my answer. Like I'm going to go out, because like I said, like I'm not scared of going out of my comfort zone, which I've done like numerous times. So I thought, you know what, I think it's time now to go and play. Like I didn't want to stagnate. I didn't want to sit on the bench.
Yeah.
After I've just started the season and a half, playing every single game, scoring, assisting, getting promoted, and then just sit on the bench. I didn't want to do that. So I thought, you know what, I'm signing. I'm going somewhere else. And then I had a few teams, Forest early in the window, but obviously because it was early in the window, I was unsure whether I'm staying with United yet. So then obviously they signed like 20 players that window, didn't they? So then by the time I was actually free, they'd already signed loads of players, and it was like Forest, Leicester, and Southampton.
Nice.
All the 3 teams that were battling relegation that season.
But still, Premier League clubs, isn't it?
I mean, imagine you just, like you said, stayed there and you wouldn't have had the experience of being at the bottom of the relegation and make your way back up.
Exactly that, so I wouldn't have, like, I don't think I'd be where I am now. So, like I said, I'm not one to sit in my comfort zone. I like to get out of my comfort zone and try and like show everyone and prove to everyone like the player that I think I am.
But
you know what I mean?
I'm a big believer in like everything happens for a reason. So like I know it sounds stupid, but your quad, for instance, you getting injured there has maybe got you to where you are now because of all the things that happened. Do you know what I mean?
So
I think it shows. I think anyone who's watching shows ambition as well. Like at the end of the day, you're at Manchester United,
biggest club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. You could easily just sit there and say, "Do you know what? I'm all right. I'm happy. I'm at United."
Yeah, the ambition.
But for you to go into the manager's office and say like, "What are your plans?" and then to be going and say, "Right, do you know what? I'm going to make a decision to move on or go on loan and better myself." So
I love that. I love that. It's a great message for people watching as well, and to young players, also other professionals that may be watching this. You know, sometimes that, even though it is daunting, going to do that, you know, he's gone and done what he's done. Fair play. I think
also confrontation's needed sometimes. Do you know what I mean? I know like it might not be in your nature just to go into a manager's office, but you don't have to do it in a way of like you coming across arrogant. You can just go in and say like, this is out of my comfort zone, but I want to know where I stand in the team, like you did. Because you feel better doing it than thinking, am I playing, am I not?
I'm like, a big believer in like equals as well. Like I know obviously there's like a hierarchy in everything, in work, in the normal jobs and all that stuff, but I still believe in equals, if you know what I mean. Whereas like
the same.
I should still be able to go and speak to the boss. And same with like you in like a normal work type of, like you should still feel like you can speak to the boss how you can speak to one of you. So I feel like obviously he probably would have viewed me as a younger player, but I thought like, you know what, like I'm part of this team. I should be able to go. So, like I said, I just went and spoke to him and got the answers that I needed to, and that helped me make my decision.
Was on Ten Hag, was he, in terms of the conversation, was he approachable?
Yeah. He was very open as well, which is what I appreciate really. Like he could have easily have just lied and blagged me. So he was honest and open, which is all I can ask for, and
that's what you wanted, though.
And I respect that.
Yeah, I like that.
So no.
But on the Everton situation, what made you make that decision to go to Everton?
Numerous of things really. Obviously, it's a massive club, isn't it? Huge, massive club. Been in the Premier League for so long. Obviously, at that time they were struggling a little bit the season before, but I just knew like how big the club was and the players that we had and the manager at the time, Lampard. And then obviously close to home. Family live in the Wirral. I live in Manchester. Like in the middle of both of us, it like everything just made sense.
Perfect.
And so.
It's a bit mad of it, you know. They've had so many things happen to them. Points deducted here, points deducted there. But do you know what? They're still thriving.
It's a top
you have
club.
to give it.
It is. New stadium as well.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Are you excited?
I'm excited. You know what? I think I'm the only player that's not seen it. I swear.
Really?
No way.
Because when obviously they all went on one day, like a introduction day type of thing, and they all went to see it. But I think I had a scan in London or something like that, so I never end up going. But I've seen all the pictures and videos, and it looks.
You know what that means, Dick? More than a match. Everton tour with Jimmy. That's what it means.
We
just invite ourselves. We'll take some squashes. Take some squashes with us as well. No,
are you with James?
With Jimmy.
Just outside that. Jimmy there.
What's the RH?
I don't know him.
No, I love it. In terms of, obviously, it's just gone. Like the transfer window. Just a brief one. Obviously, we don't have to talk too much about it. As a player, what's that like? I know you're not. You know, you wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, this and that, but as a player for the lads that were potentially on the go, what's that like? Deadline day, deadline day. Can't speak. You're rapping as well. Rapping
no,
there.
that's tight, actually.
In terms of,
it's a scary time, isn't it? For some players.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, like it's their life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's their life, and like. Obviously, if they're on the move, then there's only one reason that they're on the move for is because they're not wanted by the club that they're at.
Yeah,
so
it's tough that.
Well, not necessarily, but like that's the majority of the time is usually because they're not wanted by the club or they're in really high demand because they're obviously thriving. But it's definitely a nervous time for lads that because obviously, like I said, like if you don't end up getting the move that you want, you might end up just like I said, you might end up just. Being on the bench for the rest of the season, and you go from being this guy who was wanted for 50 mil to then everyone's forgot about you, and now you need to prove yourself again. So
but sometimes I think it's like a pride thing as well. So say like teams in the lower divisions, say if you're from the Prem or Champ or like, do you think some players feel like, oh, if I go there it looks bad, or like I'm not going there, and then like you said, they're just there at the club. Do you know what I mean? Whereas they can be playing and they can be proving. There's so many players that have gone to the lower leagues and thrived from the lower leagues to go back up.
There's a lot of positive.
Like I'm at Mac at the minute, and I love it, mate. It's amazing because I'm playing, I'm enjoying it.
Happy as you've been as well, isn't it?
And everyone's like, it's crazy. The standard in lower leagues now is getting way better.
Yeah, Brandon.
And I don't think people should look at it as like, oh, it's low, it's this and that. Like it's a stepping stone for some people, and I think it's good to go into them leagues because it's a different type of football.
Definitely.
I mean, you learn so much. So
I love it, mate. I love it. In terms of, you know, stripping it all back, any influences going up?
I'd say probably my main ones, probably my brother and my dad. I know that's obviously probably such a normal answer, what everyone says, but it honestly is. Obviously, my brother played in the academies as well. Okay. Up until he was about 16, and then he kind of gave it up himself. He didn't get released from anywhere. He just thought like, I don't want to do it no more. He didn't quite enjoy it. Didn't quite have the, like I think personally, he didn't quite have the drive as what I have.
Yeah. It's a big factor, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Like he kind of didn't, like for me. I wanted it, whereas I feel like he didn't. But he was. Like he always says, still, he says he was a mile. He says he was a miles better player than me. He wasn't.
Jake.
I love that.
He was like a striker or like just like a forward player, and he was really good. So obviously he's 5 years older than me. So obviously when I'm like 5 and he's 10, I'm going to watch him in the academy he's playing, and so obviously I kind of wanted to be like my big brother, which of course Everyone who's got a big brother, they always want to be like the big brother. So obviously when your big brother's playing in the academies for like City and Blackburn and all these stuff, like I just wanted to be like him, and then obviously I end up getting my chance. And
it'd be nice to get your opinion on this. We spoke about it with Brandon as well. I think the academy systems is absolutely fantastic in it, but for everyone it can destroy you, can't it? At the same time, like mentally, obviously it's if you don't quite make it, for example, like your brother and not out of choice, like you said, but some of them don't have a choice. Sometimes it can be soul destroying, can't it? Mentally, it can have a massive impact on people, can't it?
I think that's where, like, it just obviously you need to be. It's easier said than done as a person, because obviously everyone's different. But if you're strong and strong-minded to the point where, because obviously there's not everyone that's going to make it. Like there's a very small percent that make it to the academy that they're in. Like they'll make it somewhere else, but just because you're not making it in that academy
doesn't mean
you can still make it somewhere else. Definitely. You just need to have that.
But it's the connection you build through the academy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, of
course, it's so hard because it's just like all these players you've grew up with from like 6 till 16. Yeah. And then you think. And
then you see them getting kept on.
Yeah, and you're like, why am I not? Like, what did I do wrong? Or why didn't I make it? Or
I think that's where your family plays a big a big role in it. Because if you get released early doors, where you're a bit immature and you don't quite understand the reasons why you are getting released, and you think, why is like my best mate's being kept on and I'm being released? Like that's where you need.
There's an arm around you. Say, listen, pick yourself up and go again.
And your family to make you understand that you've done nothing wrong. It's like there's a different path. Like I think that's where family plays a massive part with things that go wrong, really.
No, I love that. I think obviously we've touched on, like, obviously just coming back from an injury. What was that like in terms of a time?
Horrible, man. Horrible. It's my second time with the exact same injury. Don't quite know what's causing it. Still don't know. Fractured my bottom left side of my back. That wasn't through impact, nothing like that. Just off constant. I think pressure, so wear and tear. It's like wear and tear type of thing, and I'm only 23, so
getting on.
That's like me. My back always hurts carrying this lad here. You know what I mean? just killing. But no, I think so. You're back through that now. And
so I'm on the other side of it all now with the rehab side. I'm taking it a lot more serious now, because obviously, like I said, it's my second time. Not that I didn't the first time, but obviously when you come back, you think like I'm back, like I'm good to go now. I don't need to do them extra bits no more.
Do you still think about it, like cautious, like do you when you're training and stuff? Think
when I'm training, like you don't like you just free flow. You don't think about anything other than your next pass and all that stuff. But when you're like at home and all that stuff, and you've got like that little ache, you think, oh, is it coming back again? Or like, so you have to.
Does this quite feel right?
So like I'm a bit like worried and a bit cautious, but you've just got to do everything right in the gym. I suppose, I'm bad for all that stuff, but now, like, I'm getting
injury prevention and all that. Anything else, Dick? Anything else you want to discuss? More Than a Match, episode 2. I've got one actually. Yeah. How do you switch off away from football?
I like to keep myself active. I'm pretty like
sporty.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sporty. Like I'm a pretty like I don't want to be
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah. You into golf? Yeah.
I like golf. I'm not too like I'm not the best. Like there's better players than me. Like, but I would like to say I'm pretty good at most.
Yeah.
At most things I put my eye
paddle.
to.
Play paddle.
Yeah, he's good at paddle.
Why have we not had a game of paddle then?
Yeah, Dee knows about that.
Yeah, we'll get a game going in it.
Yeah, I've got my partner.
Yeah. Who?
Sam Bird. Shout out to Sam Bird.
Is he good?
Paddle partner. Used to. Me and Sam Bird.
We're on it.
Yeah.
So
we could even do an episode of More Than a Match while we play. You know what I mean? Love it. But
what about what's one thing that people don't understand about being a professional footballer? Would you say?
Great question. That.
What they don't understand.
One thing
that they don't understand
that
about.
They don't understand about. Honestly, I feel like the sacrifices that like you make. I know, obviously, like again, that's probably an answer that everyone else would give, but it is the answer. Like people just think, you know what, they earn quite a bit of money. Like how lucky are they? But like.
It's not a given, is it?
Me, from 5 years of age, didn't know I was going to earn money. I didn't know about the Premier League. I didn't know about all these different leagues.
Just the love of it.
I just love football. worked hard, obviously luckily got into an academy, and then still worked hard from 6, 7. My dad, granddad, all these people taking me to training 4 or 5 times a week, driving an hour to Manchester and an hour back, taking time out of their day, using all their money that they've earned on petrol and like boots and all this type of stuff, like all this sacrifice that not just I've made, my family have made, like for people to then turn around and say, oh, you're lucky, or like, so I think people don't quite understand the sacrifices you make from such a young age. And even touching to digs, like you moved when you were 16, but I moved away from home when I was 11.
Oh, it's tough that.
So I left my high school, 12, sorry, 11 or 12. So I left my high school in the Wirral and went to Manchester to live in digs when I was like 11, 12, and moved to a different school, lived with a family that I've never met before. And people don't realise that. Like, I did that so I could better myself and like be a better player and have more training and all that type of stuff. And then obviously moved into digs with you then, didn't I, at 16?
Shout Maria.
Shout Maria for sure.
Definitely.
Maria Keller.
What a woman, special woman to this day. Still stay in contact with her.
That's
Anything
amazing.
we ever need, that table at Maria's house.
Honest to God,
That's mint that.
This is like, if I had a gun to my head, this is a bit mad,
This is mad for more than a match. Jesus, what's going on here?
Wait, listen. If I had a gun to my head and someone said, you've got to call somebody,
pick up the phone,
and they have to answer,
Maria Kelly.
Wow, that's amazing.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
No matter what time, she'll be always
There's been
there.
times where like I've had a taxi booked to go to the airport at like 3 in the morning. This is so bad. And I'm like, oh, like the taxi's gonna be late. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to ring Maria. I ring
Maria's
Maria,
speed dial.
I love it.
and she's like, hello. I'm like, I've just woke you up. She's like, no.
Definitely have.
Like, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So like, no. And then they'd be like, can you come and pick me up, please?
I tell you what, I bet she's got some right stories.
We'll have to get her on. We'll have to get her on, definitely.
That'd be a great
She's
guest.
such an amazing woman, and she's helped us so much. Like, even off the pitch. Like, if you needed not even off the pitch, just general life. Like, she's taught us so much.
She just understands, doesn't she? She understands everything. She's not too in your face. She's very laid back in her approach, and she's almost like, she understands it. Like,
I love that.
It's such a, when you're a footballer, like the last thing you want to talk about is football. If that makes sense. Yeah. So like, she's so laid back in her approach to the point where, like, I don't know, she just gets it, doesn't she?
Like, you can speak to her about anything. Like, when we used to come back in from football, she didn't ask us how's football, how was your day,
how are you,
how are you, and that makes,
feelings,
do you know what, that makes a massive difference. 100%. Do you know what I mean? Because like, you hear how's football,
so it's just in your face,
because obviously you're a footballer, but you're not just a footballer, you've got your own life, and you're a human being. So I appreciated that every morning, every time we come back in, how's your day? And she'd run through a brick wall for us, wouldn't she? Yeah.
I want to just highlight what you said there about obviously the family stuff, and again referring to the audience as well. And they've got academy players and stuff like that. It is huge credit to parents. Obviously, my mum and dad did it. Obviously, you know, your family and it's massive, innit? Yeah, it's very undervalued, massive, and you've just identified that there, and you're very grateful from 5 all the way through the sacrifice that they made, going to work at maybe really early, you know, sacrificing their time, finances. It's massive, in it, that. But no, I love that, mate.
We used to, it is massive, because you, like I said last time, like, you appreciate everything so much more. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, when you're younger, you don't really understand, do you?
No.
Like, but when you look back and you think, like, obviously my mum, she got me to training no matter what.
Yeah,
no matter what
even
time.
Even when the car was breaking down.
Like, we had the car, she bought a car. She'd still get me there.
My dad had to take him over.
She'd still get me there, but we'll get to football no matter what. Even if the car was broke, she'll get me there.
Yeah.
No matter what. And that is like, I look back at that and I think, wow, you're such a special woman.
Wonder Woman.
The amount of times I was leaving on a Saturday afternoon and Dee's just there with the bonnet open.
Mechanic D.
But guess what? She fixed it and we got home. You know what I mean? So shout out my mum, man. I love that.
Last question, D. I'm going to give you this one. Last question. I can't believe you don't know it. I'll do it then. But do you see what I mean about my back curtain?
I do know it.
Go on.
What has football taught you?
Yes.
Come on. What has football taught me?
Yeah.
That's such a tough question.
But I don't know it.
What has football taught
nice
me?
one, Jimmy. Thanks for wrecking the video, mate.
Oh yeah. What has football taught me? Honest to God,
It doesn't have to be like, it can be about life, anything.
Yeah.
Football for me.
Socially.
Yeah. Well, like I've already touched on, like, I feel like football is just a bunch of opinions, isn't it? Bunch of opinions, bunch of perspectives. I think it's kind of taught me growing up, and obviously now I'm in like the first team and playing at first team level, that like the only opinions that really matter are your family. What's going on here?
Nothing, mate.
Go on.
Nothing.
Like the only opinions that actually matter are like your family. Friends, and like your loved ones. Like that's I think that's what football has taught me.
Oh, brilliant.
Go on.
So what we're gonna do at the end of every episode, we get the guest to say a certain something, and I don't know whether D's prep you to say it. See what I mean? Carry him again. Go on.
Up the R8.
Yeah!
Knew it.
I told you, I don't need prep.
I love it. Love it. See what I mean? My back's all right now. No, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for coming on. The episode More Than a Match. D, pleasure. Pleasure as always. Jimmy, thank you so much. Like, subscribe. It means the world to us. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it and tune in soon.